The Daily Ironman Show with Ironman Daily is Ironman Daily. Hello and welcome back to Ironman Daily. I'm in Runelight now, so I've got these green boxes around. That's just how it goes when you're in Runelight. I could disable that, I suppose. Maybe I should. But I like to not change things unless I know how, because then it's a pain. I have to look up how to do it and blah blah blah. Yeah, so the next thing's next. We are running Cosmic Runes. I got all the seaweed I need, which is lovely. So now I'm doing Cosmic Runes. I've made quite a few so far. Not quite as many as I would need for all of the molten glass, but to do all, like 4,000 of them, I would need 12,000 Cosmic Runes, which is a lot. So we're not going to bother with that just yet. What we're going to do first, after using the bank here, is we're going to open up some of the comments I had and review the comments and the discussions from last week, because we like to do philosophy here on Ironman Daily. So I'm engaging with commenters, doing philosophy in the comments of my videos. I got some good comments, some bad comments. I got one comment from a player named Gabriel asking, "What game is this?" And I replied, it's called Old School RuneScape, or OSRS, made by a British company called Jagex. You can play it for free. Get it on Steam or download the Jagex launcher. I'm a poser as a nationalist right now because of this video I made about George Orwell. I got a comment from Vanex Villas 2637 who said, "Wars are dumb. Don't fucking fight ever. That's so stupid." What? I don't want a fucking nation. I don't want to relate to my neighbor because of some bogus boundary someone years before my lifetime drew. I want to relate to my neighbor because they're a human being. So, I replied. I said, that's a nice idea, and there are some nations that have been able to successfully avoid war for many decades. Good examples are Sweden and Switzerland. People often move to non-warring countries to avoid fighting wars. Nothing wrong with that. In real life, it's often possible to avoid war. Many Ukrainians left the country when Russia invaded. Where can you move to avoid war that is not the territory of some nation? I suppose you could be the captain of your own ship. You don't have to serve any nation. But why do you have to knock our operation? We nationalists are trying to make a safe place to live, a nation where you can trust in public safety. What about my example in Lord of the Rings? If the forces of evil were approaching to destroy you, would you lay down and die, or would you fight? So yeah, this is a problem. To identify as a nationalist online is actually crazy because of the connotations there. I'm not a real nationalist, right? I'm talking about nationalist philosophy, where you have a nation of people, nation states. I believe in nation states, but I'm not a right-wing nationalist. So get it straight. I got an interesting exchange with Julian Kirby 9880. He said, "Ethno and religious nationalism bad. Ethno and religious internationalism also bad. Secular nationalism and secular internationalism is good. Treat people with love, kindness, and respect. Treat everyone like a sibling, not a child." So I replied, I said, 9880, thanks for the comment. I like your approach to this topic because secularism is based. I like secularism. I feel like it's a good, honest way to try to approach philosophy. He replied, he said, "You're welcome. It is most based. An ideology that is even more based is humanism. Secular and religious humanists are the only way forward for us as a society. I would like to share this as an example. The ladies who run the food donation at the church across my house are Christian humanists. And I am an atheist humanist who manages the community garden they have on their church's property. We can work together because of secularism and humanism and the combined goal of making this world a better place." So he does have pretty extreme hyperbolic language there, so I just check. I say, I can't agree that humanism is the only way forward, but I vibe heavily with secular humanism. Catch a vibe. It's a very robust worldview. I look forward to seeing good philosophers develop it more. Homeboy replies, he says, "I get that. When we divorce secularism from the concept of humanism, it stops vibing/hitting the same. If more people practiced it, life would be better for everyone everywhere." So this is more hyperbolic language. So I'm curious now. I say, Can you elaborate on what you mean by the divorce of secularism and humanism? I'm also interested to know more about why you think life would be better for everyone everywhere if more people practiced secular humanism. Pardon me while I fill up on essence here. But my commenter was nice enough to reply. He said, "The first part I can't articulate fully right now on mobile. I can't backspace and edit as well, but not all humanism is secular in nature. A plain text reading of many of the teachings of Jesus can be interpreted as humanism, but not secular. I think it's a philosophy that inherently makes us care about each other in a more thoughtful way, and being thoughtful and caring about others are things my grandma taught me to value." Okay, so this first part, you'd think, like, the teachings of humanism, yeah, the reason why you get this humanist flavor from Christianity is because in Christianity they deify humanity. Like, Jesus Christ is the incarnation of God. He takes on human form so that it can be deified in the resurrection after the crucifixion. So it's kind of like Jesus Christ, you can think of him as Talos from Skyrim. He's like the god of humankind. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I replied to Julian Kirby and I said, "Being thoughtful and caring about each other is good, but maybe I should talk with your grandma instead." Because he's saying in the second part here, he says, "Those are things that my grandma taught me to value." Like, I'm just going to do whatever my grandma says. Is that an appropriate way to live? Just do whatever your grandma says? He replies, he says, "I would also like to talk to my grandma. She passed at the beginning of 2019. I'm taking a tablet with me here on this last run so I can teleport. I'm going to need to repair this bag, so I'm going to teleport to Edgeville and get into the Abyss for that and make an inventory full of nature runes." So this guy's grandma passed at the beginning of 2019. She was 90 years old. Other than my older relatives, I'm the best you got for getting her wisdom. Okay, so this guy's whole lineage is in decline. Any more interesting comments I can read here? I got a comment from PreedX2. He was talking about this same video again, talking about George Orwell's take on nationalism. He says, "The point is that nationalism defines who are the good guys and who is the enemy for you, and that is why Orwell was criticizing about it. Similarly to ideology, which Orwell also critiqued. Any idea that can get you to abandon your own reasoning and make you fall in line with the rest of the guys is inherently dangerous and can lead to atrocities." So this, I thought, was a very valuable and insightful comment. So I said as much. I said, "Hi, Preet, thanks for the valuable insight. You're illuminating the dangers of nationalism and ideology, explaining why it's so important to be careful with nationalist ideas." Yeah, like, we love to criticize ideology as a whole, which I guess is kind of frustrating, but, like, fair enough. Like, we hate ideology because it's, like, too rigid, but at the same time, ideology is the only thing we're doing. Like, philosophy is about creating ideology. Like, what else is there to do? You could do philosophy for spiritual reasons, but ideology is also the finished product of philosophy. Like, you can talk about Stoic philosophy. There's also Stoic ideology that is like the crystallization of Stoic philosophy. So ideology isn't really so bad, even though philosophers love to talk shit about it. On one of my more recent episodes, this one I think came out on Thursday last week. I usually have a 1 week buffer between episodes, so I have time to edit and post everything. So I'm recording this in the first week of April, but the video comes out on the second week of April. In the video, Ironman Daily number 492, titled Innocence, dipping a little bit into the philosophy of innocence as it relates to Christianity and Christian philosophy. I got a comment from Enlatole 8067, and they said, "Religion has been used for centuries to dehumanize so they can divide." And I like that. Not all religions are like that, but yeah, I mean, the Roman Catholic Church comes to mind. So this is we have to be respectful, obviously. Thanks for watching Ironman Daily. And stay tuned for another episode coming out on another day. It's going to be Monday when my next one comes out. I might be posting some shorts this weekend. I want to make some YouTube shorts, try to bring some more attention to my show. But in the meantime, it'll be Monday that the next full-length episode comes out. Thanks for watching. Also, a little postscript here. Once I'm done, instead of teleporting back, I just go out the natural exit there, run over this way. Those who know will already know, But yeah, there's a fairy ring over here. So I use this fairy ring, and this is going to get me back over to... It's going to get me back over to Xanaris. 51 nature runes to deposit. Deposit all those. Get ready for another inventory. But before I go, I want to show you what I have here, because I've made some good progress. I've got my seaweed all done up here. You see I have 4,074 seaweed and 1,459 soda ash, which is more than enough to pair with all of the buckets of sand I have. So I'm going to have 5,000 molten glass coming in, and those will be made into unpowered orbs. And I won't have enough cosmic runes to make all those unpowered orbs into air orbs, because I need 3 cosmic runes for each one. But I do have 6,281 cosmic runes already, so making good progress. Almost 2,000 nature runes. I'm going to run out of pure essence before I get close to enough, but I don't really need that many, right? I'm just going to make a schwack of them and get back to farming soon enough, farming irids. Bye now.